Everybody, welcome to the School Committee of the Town of Foxborough regular meeting for May 21st. Tonight we're going to start with our annual school committee reorganization. We'll then recognize any visitors who want to be heard. We will do our approval of minutes, followed by teaching and learning highlights. And I know we have a lot of special guests in the audience tonight for our teaching and learning highlight. We will speak about the town meeting and do a brief update about how the town meeting went from the school's perspective, and also a reading of the school committee annual report that goes into the annual town report. We are then going to have amendments to the Bi-County Collaborative Member Agreement, followed by a curriculum review cycle update. We then have first reading of policies in both wellness and internet acceptable use, followed by the monthly budget statement. We'll address other matters, and then the committee tonight will be going into executive session for the purpose of discussing negotiating strategies with union personnel, specifically tonight custodians and secretaries. We also are going to be reviewing some collective bargaining language related to the new Massachusetts educator evaluation system. So that's the purpose of our executive session, and we will not be returning to open session tonight. So let's begin with school committee reorganization. And just before we do, I want to just take a moment to thank my four other members of the committee for what I think was just a terrific year. We welcomed the new superintendent, and won't go into all the things we did because we're going to cover that later in the agenda, but I just personally want to express my thanks, especially to all of you, because you all have been here and served this committee and this community so well, and I've learned a lot from you, and you've helped me along the way, so I just wanted to say thank you. So we will talk now nominations for the office of chair first, as we always do, and then we will have the new chairman recognize and call for the election of the vice chair or secretary. Martha.
I'd like to nominate Kate Kaminsky for chairman. She's the only one amongst us that hasn't held the office, and I think we're committed to rotating the chair, so I would like to nominate her.
Thank you. Very good.
Mr. Chairman, may I speak?
Bev.
I'm actually been pondering something for a couple of years that Dr. Martis said to me and suggested. And he suggested that, when something is moving smoothly, perhaps we would like to consider at some time to have the chairperson stay 2 years in the seat rather than rotating, because it can be challenging for a superintendent to adjust every year to a brand new person. It's like a revolving door. And the strict school committee duties are to hire a superintendent, oversee the budget, set the policies for the district, and the responsibility is to maintain stability by supporting the superintendent. This past year has run extremely smoothly, and there has been a lot of change. First, Mrs. Finelli became the new superintendent. She also took on the arduous task of completing her superintendent's mentoring program. She adjusted to, which she seemed to do seamlessly. She adjusted to a new assistant superintendent, Dr. Berdos, and that was a seamless adjustment also. I feel like she's been here more than 1 year. In the fall, we hired a new legal team to work with us. She had to learn to work with a chairperson. In January, as another change, we acquired a new business manager. In July, we will have a new food service manager. We will also have a new high school principal. We will have a new elementary school principal. That's already up to 9. And we will have a new facilities manager, which is number 10, in September. Now that is a lot of major change within one district in just a little more than 1 year. I'd like to mention a couple of remarks that were made by the supervisor of the superintendent mentoring program. He saw us as a highly functional school committee focused on student achievement and instruction. And he also made note observations of chairperson, he listened carefully, summarized well each member's thoughts. He noted agenda items, bringing them to closure before moving on. And I actually, in support of our superintendent, I would not mind seeing the whole slate move forward as it is for just this one time. But I do think with the smoothness of what has happened in the running process of this past year that we should consider perhaps somebody having 2 terms, 2 years for a term. And if not, I would recommend, the normal rotation, that vice chair becomes chair and somebody moves in as vice chair.
Anything else, Bev?
No, those are my thoughts and my observations. But there we have a lot of change that is very important, that the transition is made.
So we have a nomination for Martha for
I
Kate.
just have a comment.
And do you want to make a nomination as well? Do you want us to consider? And then we'll go to Martha's comment. Is your nomination to retain the slate? Is that what you said?
I would like to
Or is it for
retain.
the vice chair to move to the chair? Which?
Well, I would like to see actually the whole slate move forward to help the smoothness and the adjustment of all the new things that we will be facing within the next few months.
Okay. All right, Martha?
I think the one thing that we do have is continuity on this team. It's not like we have a new member. We have someone who's sat on this committee for 9 years who's never held a seat. And I just think it's appropriate to move this person forward.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it.
Good point. Anyone else have any comments or any other nominations?
Well, I'd just like to make the comment that I think what we've done some of the time that I've been on this committee is that we have had the vice chair move into the chairman's position. And then I know there was one occasion, I think, when Martha did move directly into chairmanship. But I do like the process of your vice chairman, and you move, then you just, the committee so decides to move into the chairmanship position. So I think that there is a process for that, and that has been something that we have been following for a number of times. So I would just throw that out to the committee to ponder, and if we decide to discuss.
If we don't want to do a 2-year rotation at this time, I think we should follow the process.
Okay. Well, it sounds to me like we're talking about 3 different things. We've got a nomination for Kate, which I think we need to vote on. We have, if I understood you right, Bev, a nomination to retain the slate for a 2nd year. And then I would suggest, if it's all right with the committee, if neither of those receive a majority vote, I think we should entertain the full process. Is that what you're saying, Katie? Is that your point?
Yeah, that's
So the vice chair to the chair and then a new...
I just wanted to make that comment, but
Okay.
take
So-
one thing.
Wait a minute,
Yes.
point of order. In order to
Yes.
do this, you can't do that. You have to do the chairman first, and then you have to do the vice chairman, according to, upon election, a new chair will preside, and election for the vice chair, so you can't do
Okay.
that.
I'm not suggesting
No,
that.
but Beverly
Martha.
was.
Well, then what we would...
You have to do one, then the other.
Okay.
Just
The chairmanship
I
first.
think
yes,
Martha's right.
Okay.
Yes,
All right.
you have to.
Any other comments before we take our vote? I'll just offer my comment, too. This is an awkward time. And it's awkward because we all respect each other, we all appreciate each other, we all do a great job. And we have, as I said at this time last year, any number of us could do any of these jobs and do them very well. So,
And each one of us has 1 vote, which is equal.
okay. So I think we should do the nominations in order. And this is a roll call vote, and we need a majority of the members. So we're going to begin with those in favor of Kate taking over the chair. Martha?
Yes.
Kate?
Yes.
Katie?
No.
Bevy?
No.
I love being in this seat at this time.
Well, it means we will follow a rotation that we have set up that has worked successfully.
Okay. I have tremendous respect for Mrs. Kaminsky and everything she has brought to the community and to this committee and to the support of our schools. I personally, since it has to come down to me, favor stability at this time. I think we've had a very stable year. So I would personally vote no. So now I think we should address the second nomination I heard. But as Martha said, we can't do
Do
both.
that. So we need to follow the process.
So now we have to nominate, do we want to vote on retaining the current chair, or do you want to vote on moving the vice chair?
Well, maybe if we should
No, it's not. Okay.
move the process, follow the process.
Follow the process. So all those in favor of Bev taking over, vice chair moving to chair? Martha?
No.
Kate?
No.
Katie?
Yes.
Bev?
Yes?
Yes. And I will vote yes. So we have a new chairman by virtue of a majority vote, and that is Ms. Lord. So I'm going to turn the proceedings over to her, and I'm going to switch seats with Ms. Lord.
Thank you for your vote of confidence. I shall try my best. I will now hold the floor open for nominations for vice chair.
I'd like to nominate Ms. Kaminsky for vice chair.
Katie,
Are we taking a vote?
vote? Are there any other nominations? Are we taking a vote? Katie?
Aye.
Bruce?
Aye.
I vote yes. Martha?
Yep.
Point of order, the motion was not seconded.
We don't have to
I don't
second.
think we have to.
I have to respectfully decline and would like to withdraw my name.
Okay.
Well, I hold the vote, the nomination open for a chair, vice chair.
Well, I'll nominate, if Mrs. Kaminsky is not interested, I'll nominate Mrs. Adair.
Go ahead. Yep.
Go ahead. Yes, Martha?
Yep.
No.
Katie?
Yes.
Yes.
And I am yes. So congratulations, Vice
Thank
Chair.
you. Thank you very much.
All right. Do we have any visitors?
Not unofficial ones.
Not unofficial.
We
We
get
have
to the official
many,
ones.
many
Quite
to
the
be
lot.
celebrated. All right, we will move on to approval of minutes. Are there any corrections?
Do you want to compare?
I have-
Motion to accept.
Actually, I had one observation, if I could, Madam Chair. Under the Foxborough High School sub-bid update,
Page, please.
page 3, middle of the page, it's captured that Mr. Gardner noted that money would be returned to the town due to lower bids received on these items. And it refers, where the location is of that statement, it refers to the bid for paving and ceilings. And I think that was, if my recollection serves right, I think that was a general comment regarding all of the bids, and that it was our intent to do our best, and the committee has talked about this, to return money to the town. So I would just ask that, if it's all right with the committee, that comment be moved to the end of the section, and that the wording be, Mr. Gardner noted that it is the committee's intent to try to return money to the town. That sounds the way you all recollect it.
Move to accept as amended.
Second? All in favor? Teaching and learning highlights. Mrs. Spinell?
Yes, this is wonderful. This is why we have so many people in the audience. As I did a little memo just today so you would have names in front of you, but the Massachusetts Aggression Reduction Center at Bridgewater State College, as you know, used for a lot of our training on anti-bullying and programs for students, and also we use the trainers for programs for parents in the past a few times. So they are really a leading expert agency on aggression reduction and anti-bullying efforts, not only in Massachusetts, but becoming more and more advocates beyond the state in terms of expertise. So they had conducted this anti-bullying awareness contest that schools could enter to to enter either a poster or a poem or a whole school effort. And we are so happy to announce that we had several award-winning students from Foxborough. So right now, I would like to invite the 3rd and 4th graders from the Burrell and the Taylor School up to the, we call it the guest table, so bring your chairs, pull your chairs forward here in the back, come forward and find yourself a chair. Wonderful. We should have 7 of you. And I know we're on time, because I see Diane, you made it from your dance class. We're missing one student, perhaps. There we go, we have 6. And 7, somebody get this lovely young lady a chair. Thank you. Pull up right over here, anywhere you can have a seat if you want to see your beautiful face at home. Okay, so I'm going to introduce the award winners, and then committee members feel free to ask them how it was. So I will start in order that you see it on your memo. So Megan Christie and Samantha Torres, just raise your hands, go like this, we know who you are. Hi, girls. They are 3rd graders at the Burrell Elementary School, and they received an honorable mention award in the 3rd grade poster contest. So hold up your poster. Oh, and they got a trophy. Oh, great. So fabulous.
Did we clap?
Oh, look at the virtues on the back.
Can you read us a little? Just turn the microphone toward them. Just read us from your poster. What were some of your messages on your poster?
We had, go first, I guess. Okay. So we had, in schools in the world, people get bullied, and it's not fair to get bullied because of their looks. Because people should not be in this pain. In our poster, we did a scene of a girl getting bullied because of her dress. The other girl gets sent to the principal's, and the little girl feels better. Thank you for our opportunity.
Wonderful. I notice you have don't dip buckets.
Oh, yeah, we did all kinds of.
So you have, I know in your school you have the bucket campaign that some of our schools do, where filling up people's buckets means you say positive things, you give them compliments. So dipping in the bucket is doing what?
Making them sad. Yeah.
Right, making them sad or saying something that would bring them down a little bit. You mean so dipping in the bucket, or when you lower your bucket, that's the opposite. So that's a wonderful message. So we're going to ask you some questions in a minute. So the next set of winners, we have 2 more students from 4th grade at the Burrell Elementary School, and that is Rachel Weber and Ryan McGowan, and they won 2nd place for their 4th grade poem. Raise your hand. So is one of you going to read your poem or just talk about your poem?
Well, we didn't bring it today.
That's okay. I didn't ask you to bring it. Can you put the microphone up there? What was the message you were trying to say to people by writing your poem?
We were kind of just trying to say that it's not okay to bully. Doesn't really matter what the case is of bullying. You just should never bully anybody. Because I feel like some people still don't get the point of it, even though we still have a lot of discussions and talks about it. And people should really understand that it's never okay to bully.
Wonderful.
You just want that what to do if you ever saw your friend bullying. What to do?
What should you do? What do you think you should do if you see that happening?
Just stand up for the other person.
Perfectly said.
Sometimes it's hard to stand up, though, because you're scared they're going to be mean to you. But even if they do be mean to you, you can know that you didn't do anything wrong. So sometimes, if kids are mean to me or my friends, I won't, I'll stand up, but then even though they're still being mean, I can just think to myself, it doesn't really matter what they think. It only matters what I think about myself, not what anyone else thinks.
Good for you. Right, so let me introduce another student. A 4th grader from the Taylor Elementary School, Sarah Scardocci. How do you pronounce your name?
Scardaci.
Scardaci, sorry, you said it with an O.
Oh, nice.
And she received second place for her 4th grade poster. What was the message in your poster?
Well, that a lot of kids get bullied and it's not okay. And if you see your friend bullying someone, you need to tell them that it's not okay, because if you don't, they could keep doing it and they would realize it's not okay, and then they get in a lot of trouble, and a lot of kids get bullied in a lot of the country, and it hurts really bad when people get bullied, and it's
I like
a
that so many
problem.
of you are saying that if a lot more people said it's not okay, then we'll get somewhere, right? Just to say it's not okay, and if people feel brave enough to say that's not okay. I think that's great. And the last of our elementary students, if you could just scooch over chairs a little bit and let your hands scooch, just teams. So they're together. Perfect. So we can see your beautiful faces. So in 4th grade at the Taylor School, some other young ladies I saw this morning in Taylor School, along with Sarah, Grace Morrison and Livia Della Valle, and they won 1st place in the 4th grade poster contest. Fabulous. So why do you think you won 1st place? What was so awesome about your message? Why do you think?
Well, we did the same question, what would you do if you saw your friend bullying someone? And we said that if you see your friend bullying someone, you should tell an adult. And if there's no adults, then just stick up for the target and say to the person who's bullying, tell them to stop, and if that doesn't work, then you should tell an adult.
Wonderful. That is tremendous. Well, what do you think of these impressive elementary school students?
Congratulations.
I think
We're
their
very
proud
proud of
principal is standing at the back there. Can't stop smiling.
I see a
The
proud
two of 'em.
principal.
Two of
too.
them. Yeah.
See some proud parents, too.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. So we hope that you enter next year and continue to get awards, and it's so wonderful for our town to know that some of our students really get it, and that you can enter contests and win and have wonderful messages that everybody else admires, like us. Congratulations. Any more
Madam
questions for our younger
Yes.
students?
I will say that when you stand up, you make a very big difference, because every time you stand up, you are changing your world and the rest of the world. So keep at it. Great job.
Right. One more last one. Now, if you lovely ladies would be so kind as to leave the chairs there for the middle school students so they don't have to drag that, it'd be great. Thank you for coming, and have a good day in school tomorrow, too. It's terrific. All right, so we have some Ahern Middle School students here. Come on up to the visitors table. So while they're getting settled, that is an impressive trophy. So the students you see in front of you are representatives. Yes, they are representatives of the Ahern Student Leaders Club, and there were actually several members of the Student Leaders Club who participated in this project, and their group school project resulted in an honorable mention award for the whole school for the MARC, Massachusetts Aggression Reduction Center, Public Service Announcement Contest. And two of our Ahern staff members are here, Ms. McDonald and Ms. Shank, who are guidance and social studies teachers. And I'll just read their names out loud so we know who everybody was here. And what we have is 2 students per grade level representing the whole Leaders Club. But on grade 5, Jack Ames and Michaela Ames, you're both here, right? Wait, so everybody knows who you are? Grade 6, Tom Fletcher and, let's see, who else? Jack Bellinger, you're representing grade 6. And also in the grade 6 leadership club is Ariane Sauvignon, Claire Walton, Sarah Walton, Olivia Balabanis, I hope I'm saying it correctly, and Dan Egan. Grade 7, we have Lily Marcelonis and Angela Mortensen, waving, representing the Leaders Club. And in grade 8, We have, let's see, Eliza Alden, Kara Doherty, Sarah Harrington, Claire Foley, Jill Delaney, Liz Matthews, and Erin Matthews. And we have Angela, no, that's not right. Yep. Who's here representing grade 8? Liz and just Liz. Where's Liz? Just you representing 8th grade? Aren't you good? Wonderful. So tell us a little bit about your award and why you won it and why your trophy's so big.
Well, it all started at one meeting when I think it was Mrs. Shank asked if we told us about the contest and if we wanted to make the PSA, and we thought it would be nice, so we started putting it together, and we had several clips on cameras and on cameras of different scenes of bullying, and Jack, the kid on my right, all left, you're right.
My right, you're right.
You're right.
You already know your audience and your staging because you were right.
Well, he put together the video, and there were several groups of us who put together videos, and we voted, and everyone voted for Jack's video, so we sent it in, and I'll let Jack talk a little bit.
Well, as he's getting ready to think, their challenge was much harder because they didn't do a poster, or they had to do a public service announcement, so they actually had to script it and act it out and produce it and tape it. So why was yours selected, Jack?
I don't know, because I don't know, it's just better than everybody else.
That was honest.
Yes. And what was the focus of the public service announcement?
To blackout bullying.
Blackout bullying. And you had Blackout Bullying Day at the academy, right? Mm-hmm. Wonderful. What did you learn from it? What was so great about doing that project?
I think it really spoke a message to the people who saw it.
So they had a really big challenge to the public service announcement, which is much appropriate. Middle school kids were challenged a little bit more to enter that contest. So good for you. I see a proud principal back there, Mrs. Abrams, too.
I just want to mention they have a PowerPoint and the public service announcement is on there.
So we get to see
so
it.
we get to
Right,
see
you get
it.
to see it, and
Goody.
we showed it to the entire school on our daily too.
Well, we are in for a treat, as are the people at home, because once the camera shifts, the people at home are going to be able to see it as well. So,
Before we start, too, I just want to add Sarah Walton is here joining us as well. I'm not sure if her name was said before, but just wanted to add her in as well.
Okay.
did I say your name? I hope I did.
The PowerPoint has just a couple pictures from the award ceremony that we went to with our entire group. So that's them receiving the award. And every year there's a new theme for the contest. And this year's theme, does somebody actually from the group want to explain that? Michaela, go ahead.
Well, we had to, the theme was we had to pretend that we were writing a letter to the president and telling him how bad the bullying and cyberbullying has been going on and how, we can make a difference.
And there's the link to the video, which is actually on YouTube if you like it so much and want to view it later on. The link is available to everyone.
Oh, here it is. Seems to want to stick on.
Dear Mr. President, there is bullying going on at my school. Some people say it's just part of life. Why should it be? One mean text can ruin an entire day. Why should we have to suffer? What could we ever do to you? The average student sends 110 texts a day. Do you think they are all positive? It's easy to send negative texts because you can't see my reaction, but people still do it. Every negative text stays with me. Just because you forget doesn't mean I do.
Wow. was pretty powerful.
Very powerful. Jack, I think you're right. You all did an excellent job. You were the best.
That was unbelievable. It was really good. Well, we appreciate what you're doing as student leaders in the school in all the different areas, but this especially. Really important.
Very nice.
Perhaps we could make sure that this is also broadcast on Foxborough Cable Network. I think our community would love to see this, and that's a wonderful clip.
I think we can work on that. So don't be surprised if your first video ever made for you future videographers starts now when you're only in middle school. Wonderful. All right, any other questions? What do you think, high school students, of your younger counterparts?
Fantastic. I can't wait to see what they do in the future. I mean, that's fantastic. They did a great job.
And I have this image of Mr. Jerry Roy, who you all will get to know, is at home jumping up and down because our high school did a premium video, and now you've thrown down the gauntlet. You'll be at the high school before you know it, and you'll be doing great things.
Yes, that's great. Good for you. Well, make sure you come do your homework. I know, they don't. We can all talk about town meeting. So, what we really appreciate, on behalf of all the schools, we appreciate the support that we got at town meeting, and the work that the committee does in the community prior to town meeting about support for the school budget. It went very well, it went very smoothly. We also want to thank our town finance leaders who we work very closely with, who helped us throughout the year with accurate revenue forecasts and letting us know what was happening in terms of revenue coming into the town, and being able to work collaboratively with them all the year was really, really helpful to me as a new superintendent, and can't thank them enough. And I know even Bill coming in, it was a smooth, seamless transition because of the relationships that we have with them. So I think we were very pleased at the outcome at town meeting, and we thought it might be a nice idea. We file an annual report, as this committee does, because it's nothing on me, but the committee files a pretty wonderful report every year in the annual town report. Up a little. We thought it would be a nice idea for the public who may not have gone to town meeting, who doesn't actually get the annual report, to be able to hear what the school committee put in for last year's town report. So, I don't know if you would, as the chair at the time,
would you want me to read it? Okay, is that okay?
Please.
So this is the report of the Foxborough School Committee in the annual town report for 2011. The school committee has continued to see a period of stability in its membership. After Katie Adair and Martha Slattery were re-elected in uncontested races in 2010, Bevy Lord was similarly re-elected in 2011. Bruce Gardner was voted by the committee to serve as its chairman. Bevy Lord took over responsibility of vice chair and clerk. Mr. Eddie Shine continued as student representative to the school committee. Joining Eddie for her first year as the second student representative is junior class member Ms. Megan Carter. The committee's stability helped welcome in a completely new school leadership team in 2011. The committee completed a lengthy search process, then selected and hired former Assistant Superintendent Ms. Debbie Spinelli to succeed retiring Superintendent Dr. Christopher Martis. Dr. Amy Burdos was then selected from a similar search process to replace Ms. Spinelli as Assistant Superintendent. Finally, Mr. Bill Yukna was hired at the end of the year to succeed retiring School Business Administrator Mr. Paul Jackson. Shortly after completing the contracts for Ms. Spinelli and Dr. Burdos, the committee successfully completed negotiations for a new teacher contract for the school district. The new 2-year contract recognized many of the needs of the dedicated teaching staff while holding down the cost to the town. This contract ratification was followed by the successful negotiation of several other contracts, including school bus drivers, custodial workers, secretaries, education assistants, food service workers, and crossing guards. The completion of these contracts in a cost-effective manner will play a strong role in helping the town move forward in a relatively strong financial position considering the challenges of the economic times. In July 2011, the school committee and new leadership team met and conducted its annual workshop to set their annual district goals. Goals for the year build on recent priorities, including communication, community relations, student achievement, financial management, policy development, and evaluation of the superintendent's performance. The new strategic plan was approved in May 2011 and will help guide the work of the district over the next several years. New for the 2011-2012 school year is an increased emphasis on the quality of teaching and learning. This is commonly referred to across the district in a theme the leaders are referring to as Great to Greater. Thanks to much hard work from custodians and staff, schools were ready for their September reopening. 13 new teachers joined the Foxborough staff in place of retirees or other departures. Foxborough was rated number 36 of school districts in the state by Boston Magazine, which weighed a number of its own factors. Foxborough High School entered its third year of its renovation project, which continued to proceed under budget and on schedule. Foxborough High School was busy with other activities demonstrating its commitment to its students' success. The guidance program instituted a new grade point average policy to better mirror that which colleges expect. It also enhanced its capability for electronic submission of college requirements. New classes were approved by the school committee for English, forensics, health, wellness, music, and AP US History. The Warrior Huddle was also introduced as a program that pairs teachers and students to provide formal and informal support networks. The committee recognized a number of other teaching and learning highlights throughout the year. These included the Ahern Middle School Peer Mediation Program, kindergarten number sense across the 3 elementary schools, the Foxborough High School National Honor Society Program, and an iPad pilot project in special education. Several professional development days for staff were conducted, focusing on such things as strengthening student comprehension and interrogating text to create lifelong thinkers. The statewide MCAS test results, while only one measure of student performance, were reviewed in detail in the fall. Foxborough outperformed the state average in 16 out of 17 test categories. Good growth from one year to the next was evident at most cohort levels. Areas for potential improvement were identified, including writing across the curriculum. A number of Foxborough teachers gave of their own time to take a course on how to help the school district make better use of the data. The school committee completed a review of the English Language Arts curriculum and the wellness program. It approved a new, more detailed report card for kindergarten. It also completed a review of the 3 elementary schools, the middle school, and the high school's school improvement plans. Continued support for professional development days and current budget levels were cited as essential to moving forward. The school committee also reviewed the school district's audit of its 19 instructional initiatives. This review looks at 3-year progress from 2009 to 2011. Areas reviewed include emergency planning, wellness, differentiated instruction, and enrichment and challenge offerings. Other activities supported throughout the year included an Internet Safety Night, a district-wide technology night, a tour of the Foxborough High School repair project, a survey of the community on their level of understanding around the district's strategic plan, which was very strong support, selection of new legal services for the school district, and preparation for a parent information night on the human sexuality curriculum. The school committee also revised and completed 2 new policies, entrance age for kindergarten and first grade, and the prevention and management of head injuries and concussions in extracurricular athletic activities. Future priorities for the school committee include the hiring of the next Foxborough High School principal as Mr. Jeff Theodos retires. The committee is also focused on preparing its 2012-2013 budget request, which will call for level services while being creative in holding down costs. In closing, the school committee values the support of the Foxborough community. Without a strong community, our schools cannot achieve all that they are capable of. Our supporting foundation, FACES, which stands for Foxborough, a Community Enriching Schools, and our partners, such as Invensis, YMCA, and the Craft Organization, continue to enable our teachers through a number of grants and support. Our students continue to make us proud, both academically and in extracurricular activities. Examples of our extracurricular offerings include music and athletic programs, which continue to be very competitive and represent our community with character and integrity. We wish to also acknowledge our outstanding employees and parents who work together with us to drive excellence across all of our programs in the Foxborough school system. Our PACs, PTOs, and Parent Leader Advisory Council help our schools thrive and increase our communication to the community. They provide valuable support and are contributors to the school district's initiatives and goals. Parents will continue to play a pivotal role in our educational success. There is a direct correlation between outstanding parent involvement and an excellent school system. We are grateful for the time and effort that our parents invest daily to make a difference for our children and our schools.
Nice sum of the year.
It was a busy year.
And it went very well. Any further comments? Okay, amendments to Bi-County Collaborative Member Agreement. Mrs. Fennelly.
Yes, so as you know, we are members of the called the BICO Collaborative, the Bi-County Collaborative, and when they seek as a governing board to amend their collaborative agreement, it requires a vote of the school committees in each of the member districts. So they would like to amend their collaborative member agreement in 2 areas, and you can see in the packet that there's an executive summary for each of the 2 areas that has background information on each of the specific amendments and the exact language that they wish for adoption. So if you look at the first amendment, would you like me to read, or would you like me to read the first amendment, and then would that be helpful?
Yes, I think so for the people at home.
So the first amendment that they have requested for your consideration is that they request that you adopt the following. Amendment number 1, inactive membership, that's the title. When a voting representative of a member school district has not attended 5 scheduled meetings of the Board of Directors within 1 school year, the member school district shall automatically become an inactive member without further action of the Board of Directors or the member school district. The presence of a designee at a meeting does not affect the operation of this rule. An inactive member shall forfeit benefits of membership such as member tuition rates, but not the right to vote. The determination of a quorum shall be made without reference to any inactive member. In extenuating circumstances as determined solely by the Board of Directors, the rule concerning automatic inactive status due to the absence of a voting representative of a member community can be waived. An inactive member may return to active voting status and receive all of the member benefits after submitting a letter to the Board of Directors in which it indicates its desire to be an active member and its attendance at a minimum of 5 scheduled meetings of the Board of Directors within 1 school year. So that is the first background on inactive membership. I guess they have had an experience with one that I know, a school district where there wasn't active participation on the Board of Directors. And so I guess it's been an issue, me being new to that board, it's been an issue over the last couple of years that they want to really address that concretely so that there aren't districts who receive the benefits of membership through reduced tuition rates without actively participating on the board. So the Board of Directors are the superintendents of the district. We go monthly to the BICO meetings.
How many meetings do they actually have in a year?
7.
Yes. Not quite one a month during the school year. So they require attendance at 5 out of the 7, which is reasonable.
Do you want a motion to accept?
Yes, please.
Motion to accept.
Second.
All in favor?
The second amendment that the BICO members of the Board of Directors are requesting your consideration of is the board meeting schedule. Meetings of the Board of Directors shall be held from October to June and at least once during the months of July, August, or September for a total of 7 meetings per year. That's it. So they've amended.
I'd be happy to make that motion to accept.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Thank you very much. On behalf of the BICO board, I will get in touch with them tomorrow and communicate that you have so voted. Thank you.
Curriculum review cycle. Mrs. Spinelli.
Turn it right over to Dr. Bertos.
At this time of the year, we go back to look to see what our cycle is saying, where we are and where we need to go. And after reviewing the cycle, it makes perfect sense, exactly with what's in line with the state as far as the new curriculum framework with ELA and math. So those came to town in the last year. Last year, it was the ELA curriculum review. This is what we've referred to in the past as the bump year, and we identified an area that was in need of study. And that area for this year, we have a committee in place that's been working to study elementary supplemental service delivery. So looking at our reading service delivery to students at the elementary level, as well as special education. So myself, Dr. Gruber, and Diane Casilli, we've been, not co-chairing, but tri-chairing, I guess, a new word there, that committee of elementary staff. And we've been meeting once to twice a month, looking at where our service is delivered, looking at the collaboration between reading teachers, special education teachers, classroom teachers, and at the end of this year, we will come out with recommendations for what's ideal in making sure that we're meeting in the best interest of all children. So we wanted to look at those supplemental services for our students and make sure that we're doing what's in the best interest of them. So that's what we're doing this year. Next year, we're slated for math. And with the new curriculum framework, it's perfect timing. There's a lot of curriculum work that's been taking place this year, and that will be taking place over the summer, a ton, actually, as we're realigning the curriculum in ELA and math based on the new curriculum framework. So a lot of work by a lot of teachers, and it's exciting to see what's taking place with those standards, the changes that are there, and how we're really diving deeper in areas. When we think about math as an example being very broad and very deep, the new curriculum framework is really focusing on fewer standards at different grade levels, so we can really build the conceptual understanding at a greater depth than what's currently in the framework. And those are based on and incorporate the Common Core state standards. So when you hear the Common Core, those are embedded within Massachusetts curriculum framework. And they have also added, in addition to the Common Core state standards, a percent of standards that are there. So we're working with those.
Great.
Excellent. So at this time, we're really not recommending any changes. And as you know, you last reviewed this in 2008. We made some changes then, but you never know, according to what's coming out in the state of the Common Core, whether it's going to be right. But Amy's looked at it, and math is one of the biggest areas of change, particularly the middle to high school transition for math. So, as luck would have it, the cycle that we established in 2008 really is still meeting our needs. And
excellent.
Her team looked at it, and we don't really think we need to make any changes right now.
Good. So, any comments? Okay. First reading of policies.
Yes, I feel like the policy subcommittee, which I very much appreciate, which is Bevy Wood and Kate Kaminsky, they devote an awful lot of time to the policies, and even though you have regular cycles of review, something always comes up. So the policy subcommittee wonderfully appeared again and took a look at two policies that are in your packet, the wellness policy and the internet acceptable use policy. And I hadn't spoken to either one of you today, but one of the things that came to my attention today is that one small area of wellness I missed. So after you look at the changes that they've looked at and you can speak to it, I'll let you know what that is. And this is the first reading. If the subcommittee wishes to look at that one little other section that I missed, that's great. And you can let me know. So if you want to start on that one first, and then after you talk about the changes that you have in your packet, then I can tell you what I missed.
Okay. Kate?
Well, and Debbie, thank you very much. And actually, you don't miss much. But let's clue the people in as to why this came up. In order to apply for grants, we need to make sure that our language is in compliance with both the federal government and the state. So you're going to see the administrators and under Debbie's leadership, and Debbie and I, we wordsmith this one paragraph, which I'll read in a minute, and that is basically to allow us the opportunity then to apply for wellness grants on the federal and at the state level. So that will, as you notice on page, I believe that's page 3.
Yes.
Thank you. We are the lines through the other two, the first paragraphs, that is to indicate we are deleting that. And now that paragraph will read, schools will not use physical activity or the withholding of recess or other physical activity as a means of punishment or as a regular form of discipline. Exceptions to this policy may only be made when behavior rewards or discipline are part of a student's individual education program, IEP. Any questions on that? Comments? So that will be the first reading. And may I suggest, if there, Bevy and I are happy to do what we come. We'll be happy to look over any sections so that we'll be totally comfortable at the next meeting to add on to that.
I can tell you what that area is. I take full responsibility for. So just to let you know, when we did this policy revision a few years ago, we had a task force when Dr. Mars was here, and it was a lot of work. We had great committed people. And we had gone from a wellness policy that didn't have much in it to this, which had a lot in it. So in the transition, we felt that using words like discouraged was enough. But in fact, what's come to our attention recently is that discouraged isn't enough, because discouraged just means you can go ahead and do it if you want to. And so it's not strong enough to apply for some of the grants that we're looking at. And regardless of grants, it's also not strong enough, period. So the other thing that I missed is back on page 2 of 4. The other place that we use discouraged is under the food section, the third paragraph from the bottom, where it says birthday celebrations must be food-free throughout the district. That's been implemented. Food rewards are also discouraged in the classroom. That section, that second sentence, should have similar language to what we did with the physical activity, where it should say something to the tune of schools will not use food as rewards. So if you look at the whole wellness thing, we will not use foods as rewards, period. And then the second sentence, exceptions to this policy may be made when behavior rewards or discipline are part of a student's individualized educational program or IEP. Because there are some students with disabilities for whom food is used, rightly so, as a reward or whatever, and we don't want to interfere with that. But I missed the word discouraged over when talking about using food as rewards. So that will be the section if you ladies don't mind coming back in to talk about, or just give me a call and we can talk about it, or however you want to handle it, because I feel that I've added to your time and I apologize.
No, but can't we do that here?
If you so, whatever the will is of the...
Bev, I won't speak for you, but I think we're very committed to making sure that our language is aligned so we can move forward and apply to 4 or more nutritional wellness grants. And this is not a surprise in that we need to have that consistency, and so the stronger word, and we're happy to meet with you, but I think having discussed it, everybody will be on board.
That's fine.
If there are there any questions or concerns with that?
So that at the second reading... Well, I don't feel you and I have to meet again just to okay this if we are all accepting this and in support of it
I can certainly fix this up so the second reading you're going to see the same type of strike through in bold over here.
Right.
I just wanted to point out the intent in the section that we needed to attend to.
So to summarize very quickly, we are going to construct a sentence that will make it very clear that foods are not to be used, rather than discouraged, they will not be used as rewards.
Correct.
Just
Schools
like we
will
had
not
to
use
do
food
concerning
as
physical activity and discipline.
Exactly.
The only exception being when it is in fact part of an IEP. So
Exactly.
I think there's agreement. We can move forward to the second reading with that.
All right.
Would you like a nomination from anybody here to, we don't?
No, we don't.
Just
So
consensus
there's no
that you're
consensus
okay if
for,
mock
is there a
up the
consensus
draft
so there are no
and-
surprises?
I think you guys always do such a good job on this. Yeah, that's great.
Then if I may, Bevy, do you want me to continue, or would you like?
No, go ahead. I like to make notes over here.
The next one is the Internet Acceptable Use Policy, and this is the one that relates to students. And basically, it comes down to, this is covered by the state. Bill, you're going to have to be my backup if I make any misstatements. But we receive a rebate for under email. From the state in the tune of $35,000. The state has changed their language, so if we want to get that $35,000, we are also changing our language, to comply.
The E-rate discounts.
In order to get the E-rate discount. So that paragraph, we just took a line through the title so there was clarity as we went back, and the new paragraph will read, the school district will educate all students about appropriate online behavior, including interacting with other individuals on social networking websites and in chat rooms, and cyberbullying awareness and response. Age-appropriate training on online behavior / cyberbullying will be conducted annually through the district's technology skills curriculum and social skills curriculum. This is similar to what we had before, but now we are saying, as required under state law, that we will in fact be doing that. So I think that makes sense, and that also, we're doing it anyway, but we have to, our language must be consistent with what the state has mandated so we can continue to get that E-rate reimbursement.
Exactly. So it's not enough, as you can see when you read along, the policy says what students should not do, but the new language says we are responsible for teaching them that.
Good point.
Makes us accountable.
Exactly.
Any questions or concerns?
Well, thank you for doing
It
this.
sounds like we have consensus on that one, Betty.
Very good. So we'll move those to the second reading. Thank you.
Very good. Monthly budget statement. Mr. Hughes.
No, we're actually not going to do a full budget statement until June 4th, if you don't mind.
Okay.
What I'd like to do, though, is present to the board a number of items that we've been talking about. We do have some excess funds because of some payroll changes and some of our favorable conditions with weather during this year. And we spoke a while ago about some of the priorities that the school committee had, trying to accomplish those with the funds that I have in place. The reason I'm asking to kind of push it to June 4th is as of June 1st, I've locked down all of the encumbrances. People are no longer going to be able to issue POs after that point in time, so I'll have a clean financial at that point for our true ending balances. But I'm comfortable at this point asking if the school committee would endorse some of these following expenditures at this point, which again will be cleaned out before the June 4th. The first one was to address issues that the committee has already talked about. One of them was the Pearson Inform, which was our data warehouse mining program that is a district-wide utility. It works with our existing drawing blank.
Student information system.
Power information system. So, and it basically would give us the ability to mine that data in a much better, faster method. One of the other things that the committee already had granted and we had discussed earlier, which was the borough statement of interest, to move forward with that and to get that going. The third piece was the paving at the borough, which, as you all know, we went out to bid and we told you what the numbers on that was. We had $220,000 in the CIP. The actual quote came in at $220,800. However, we did note that one thing we missed was there's a small paved area in the very front that's like a little basketball court. We picked up the one in the back, but for some reason we missed the one in the front. And I did speak to the contractor already, which will be about $15,000 more to do that properly. So that we think it's
pretty big. It's like the
75 feet by like 90 feet.
Like the third and fourth grade playground.
And that's $15,000?
Well, it's the equivalent of about a four driveways, typical house driveways. So, yeah, pavement's gone way up, unfortunately. The other thing was that we talked here as far as potentially trying to do something more with the tables and chairs in the media center here. And we have some ideas, so we're going to try to see what we can do for that. The second issue was to resolve some open issues within the district. One of them, as you all may know, is at some point in the past, before I came along, we brought in a number of life safety supports, the IED units. Pretty much every athletic group has it. Each school has it. And they need to be maintained under service contracts, or you have to basically be willing to pay to have each one of those upgraded. I have found a group that will do it through a service contract. There's 25 units, and it's about $7,000. It's not in this year's budget, so I'd like to get that going and get them all updated and checked out and make sure everything is running, because it wouldn't make us look too good if we had something that's not
We have
doing
25?
We own 25 of them.
Yeah. And this is
Actually, I
the
think
second
there's-
time we've had to do this. So what was the last time? It was several years ago. So we were
It
in
was
line
several years ago,
to
and
do
as you
it.
know, they don't get used very often.
Right,
If there
so-
were to be an emergency.
We have to make sure they're functional.
Right.
Yes,
So-
and so that would be,
Yeah.
we feel
Kinda
it would be
like
a
your
real
fire
risk if we don't.
extinguishers. You gotta make
Absolutely.
sure they're ready to go.
Right.
And it's routine. This would be continuing that.
Yep.
And then we can plan on it in the future. I mean,
Right.
we're talking
Yes.
Yeah, I would
years,
put that
we
into
should
it.
incorporate it.
Exactly. Another item that came up and actually came through from the Burrell School, and I don't know how familiar you guys are with it, but a number of years ago when the preschool moved into the Burrell, they had used some classrooms for storage for a lot of the preschool materials were around the district. Now it was all concentrated in one area, and the only way they could handle all the little, big wheels and the carts and stuff these kids would go out and play with was they had put in a storage container. So there's a pretty ugly big storage container behind the building at this point, which unfortunately is in not very good shape. It leaks. We've lost a lot of stuff inside it from mold and stuff. So what we'd like to propose... And we rent it.
Which we didn't, we just came to our attention recently. I'm like, why are we renting that rusty leak?
So what we'd like to propose doing is the same thing that happened at the Taylor, and that is there's a 10 by 20 storage shed. And replace this unit with a shingled roof, small unit down by the thing that we can lock up, keep the stuff out of the way and get rid of this container that sits there. As you all know, you've supported the forensic studies within the school, and one of their big items that they really wanted, but from a financial point of view, is a little bit outside the reach. And again, most of these items are all because over the past 5 years you haven't been able to get additional funds into the expense accounts. So, what we've been able to do, managing that, has kept it tight. But in this particular case, it's the comparison microscope. And it was an item that they had really wanted to try to see if they could get into the program.
Just to go back to the borough for a second, I have a real concern there with the parking, and if we're going to redo the blacktop. I don't know if you, because I've gone up there for my grandchildren, you know how you pull in right at the top, and they have those areas that abut the area down below. Could you please put up some sort of stops? I have visions.
It has to be. As part of that, Martha, you're 100%. It's actually there's a number of issues. There's the first issue is it doesn't meet handicap accessibility.
Well, not only that, but I'm always afraid that there's nothing to stop you from going any farther. And you got all those parked cars down there. And I brought it up a couple of times. I mean, if we're going to do this, let's do it right.
No, it absolutely is done. It's designed so that we're going to regrade it so that it meets the handicap codes, and then we're going to put curbing that elevates along.
Well, not just curbing, but you know how they bring something up and it keeps you from going any farther.
Yes, because you feel like you have to put your emergency brake on.
Well, it's a barrier, so that if somebody brakes doesn't, or somebody doesn't put it in reverse and they put it in forward, that they're not going to land in the... You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but trust me, we're doing the curbing like we did it. The reason I'm saying the curbing, we did the curbing like we're doing at the admin space.
Trust me, my van would make it over that curbing. I want something there that's going to keep you from going any farther.
Well, we're using guardrails down below. So
but this is up the top. I mean,
yes.
it's kind of...
No, we probably had those.
It is, because you could just go like...
Yeah.
Okay.
Ahead of...
Definitely take a look at that one.
It's true.
As you know, we're going to be converting one of the classrooms that used to be the weight room into a wellness center. So one of the other things we need, obviously, is some additional classroom furniture because we don't have that. So again, that would be under one of the open, unresolved issues. And depending on where our finances end up at the end, one of the things I would like to do is redo the paving at the entrance to the admin area. Which
Talk about
when you first come into where the admin thing is, that whole roadway that's all crumbled now, and the trees.
Like take a left at the tree, going over. You don't fall over the cliff. That was.
There's a couple areas where we're going to go the other way.
Side running board, yes, that would be a stellar idea.
Can I ask a question about that? Yeah. That tree that has...
We're going to take it down.
Thank you.
That is almost the identical conversation I had with Bill. I said those exact words. That tree, he said it's gone.
And it will ruin the new paving.
Right. It's actually a problem area, so we're working with the town department to actually help us.
May I ask one more question?
Sure.
So I only drive less than 5,000 miles, but because of those ruts, I have to get it realigned. How long should I wait? I was going to do it this month. How fast can we do this?
It'll probably be done this summer is the way we
Okay, so I should wait alignment until the summer? Okay.
I would wait a bit.
Okay.
And then a third area basically is to look at a few items under what we would call kind of equity between the buildings and the grades. As you know, FACES started it off by the interactive whiteboards. It started at the upper levels and started moving down. And at this point, I think the principals have done very well year after year trying to add to that. But what we feel at this point is we need to basically bring that to full circle. And there are a few classrooms in one building that don't have them, where another similar grade in the other buildings do have it. So we'd like to address the whiteboard kind of equity issue and get that resolved.
Which schools are you talking about?
It will be adding 1 or 2 or 3, depending on the school, to get them all to the same exact point.
That is so important to our parents, and this is the time to do
that.
Well,
the kids too, because they notice which rooms have money, which ones
Do we know how many are in each building?
We're just.
Yeah, we have our
down.
counts down, we're bringing it
You.
down, but I think in a couple buildings, it's a matter of just one or two. In one building, it's a matter of 3 or 4 that we need to add. So, again, trying to get that all done. I think the other side of it is, it's not just, it's great for the kids, it's great for the parents, but the other side of it is it's a good sign for our teachers. Because we ask our teachers all to be on the same page, but yet they don't all have the same tools to do it. So I think this, Deb and I have talked about this for a while. I think it's one thing that will bring the equity across the district in line. So those are the items that we're thinking about. With your blessings, we'd like to go forward and propose
What's the
that.
total amount?
We're probably looking in the 130,000 range.
For the boards?
For the boards.
For
the whole
everything.
thing,
Oh, for the
whole
everything?
thing, yeah. And so our intent is to take what we have today, which we believe, based on all the savings we have, we can amass that. And then we'll, whatever we have left, we'll bring it back on June 4th.
Well, it's good because you don't know what sort of position we're going to be in next year, so I think it's wise to bring all this up to snuff.
Well, and I truly believe
It's money well spent.
that a lot of the issues here are issues relative to the fact that the expense budgets have been kept where they are.
Yeah.
So when you do have an opportunity, which doesn't happen every year, when you do have an opportunity, you best well get those things taken care of and then move forward. And like you said, Martha, you may not have a chance to do it again next year. So
No, you have to seize the moment, I think.
all right.
Makes sense.
I also I want to give the principals a lot of credit, too, because I think a lot of the reason we have this money is they are extremely progressive in their thinking on how they get stuff done. And so they will hold, hoping that they can do some of these things to make things equitable over the time frame. So,
No, I think this is money well spent.
I
You just need a consensus,
We need an
or you
action,
need
I
a-
think just a consensus that we can go forward on those items, and then we'll come back to you on the 4th with a more accurate picture of
With
where
the
we're heading in the
accurate-
And
year.
if there's anything else,
right.
I firmly believe that we need to use what's there for whatever we need at this point.
I think we all agree, yeah.
Very good.
Very good.
Madam Chair, if I could bring up another point while we're on the monthly budget statements. And we don't have to do this now or have a discussion, but I'd like to just throw out there, I think in order to be efficient, you have to look at how you do things. And we are always evolving and improving, and in the light of continuous improvement, a question I have, I know Paul Jackson would jump through hoops and an amazing amount of work to do a budget monthly summary statement. Years ago, we felt that was important for our transparency. I wonder, given the amount of time that has to go into it, it's almost as if we evolved to the point where that could be done instead of monthly, quarterly? Because sometimes I think we're forecasting and we're making you go through the motions, and you really won't know until the end of the quarter on some of these things. And it's just an idea I wanted to throw out.
No,
So-
I think part of the problem is in order for us to move, because it's a line item budget, if you find that we're high or low in an area and we have to move money, he doesn't have the authority, or does the superintendent. It's the school committee that has to do it. So by doing it monthly, he knows where we got to give and where we got to take and where we have to realign. So that's really how the monthly evolves. So I think it's important for us to keep the monthly.
But we've never
thing.
had, in my tenure, we've never had to make an adjustment.
Yes,
Um,
every
well, we
time he
had
gives us-
adjustments,
every
but
time he gives us
Not
something.
within a month, we always knew the account or the quarter. I'm just saying,
No,
perhaps
no.
when we take a look
Yeah,
at
it's
our
actually
goals.
within that budget
Within that
report, so
budget report.
when Paul used to show, this line,
Being up or
favorable,
down.
not favorable, that,
Then we'd take
where,
it from someplace
that
else.
actually is when you approve
do
that
the
budget,
budget.
you're approving the moving of the money around, so which will happen at
So
the
we
next
really-
line.
we
Well, I
really-
would like to throw out, if there's any way that you bring your expertise to be more efficient, I would like us to support
Maybe
and
every
entertain
other
that.
month.
Every other month
Well,
would be
and I'll be honest with you, in general, we're looking at it constantly anyway, so it's the only way we can manage, so I appreciate what you're saying.
We haven't had to use it unless it's
yeah.
end of the year, so
But-
and by then we know what the numbers are, and you always cite a potential account for us, so.
But I would say, whatever the
He's gotta
board
do
would
it
like to
anyway,
do, but
so-
I've got to do the monthly transfers. I have to basically look at everything, so to be able to present it to the committee, and as you know, we've missed one or two depending on where it has to be during the year. So I think we try to keep it current, to Martha's point, when we know we need to do certain transfers, that we bring it forward. And so if the committee's
Well,
fine
you can't
with
do it
that.
otherwise, so,
That's right.
you have to.
I'm very comfortable with that, so maybe we can visit again when you talk about your goals for the year. So
That's good
if there are any efficiencies or suggestions, I know I would love to hear them when
Sure.
then we have that meeting.
I just want to offer maybe just another perspective. As we review the budget monthly, we're keeping the light shined on it. And I think that that's important for the community. I think it's important for the municipal side as well as ourselves. And I think it generates conversations, it highlights anticipatory budget issues, and again, I think it's a good vehicle to continue the transparency. So, I mean, if it's not cumbersome, then I certainly would advocate for a monthly statement. But if you find that it is, then I certainly don't want to hold you to it or else work. But I think it definitely has more than just the benefits of.
That's Rue's way. It's all cumbersome for me. She said cavalierly. But I think monthly. We can certainly keep going monthly, but maybe we can just agree, just as we did tonight, that if it makes sense to wait to get your input on something, that maybe we'll go to the next meeting, which would be 6 weeks instead of 4 weeks.
Oh,
so
yeah,
like we're doing,
absolutely.
So with flexibility around
Absolutely.
that, maybe just that would be just common sense.
Yes.
That makes.
But even tonight, as Bill's talking to us about some of these issues, and if someone's at home and they have some ideas or they're in support of something and they're concerned about maybe the committee's response, I mean, it gives them opportunity to contact us if need be, or contact Bill, or if they have questions. So,
All right. Good discussion. Good. Thank you.
Under other matters?
I have several, so maybe I should go
Yeah,
last.
could you vote for overnight travel for
Yes,
us? And-
this did not make it on the agenda, but this, okay, if we could do that
Let's do
first.
those
'Cause
important
yes. Do you have those? Did everybody get those before, prior to the meeting?
no, I don't.
I have extra.
Oh, I'm sorry, I do. I'm sorry, it's hiding under another one.
So this has come up fairly recently. The high school boys basketball team has been invited to participate in a basketball tournament over the Christmas school vacation, or the holiday vacation week, December 27, 2012 to January 1st, 2013. The tournament is being held at the ESPN Wide World Sports Center in Orlando, Florida. Kind of makes you wish you were on the high school boys team. Yes, so Coach Neely has met with parents and players to go over the travel details, and they also have plans for fundraising for the trip. They need to put a deposit this week, so they need a vote of the committee to approve the overnight travel, because they don't want to go ahead with the deposit or fundraising on the boosters side if it isn't something the committee would want to entertain. So we're requesting that the school committee vote to approve the overnight travel for the boys basketball team for the 2012 to 13 school year, in order for the deposit to be mailed and the fundraising to begin.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Before you, right, that's great. I would like us, I ask it every time, the number of chaperones will maintain the same ratio as the other overnight travel?
Yes.
Because they have to do, it's going to be incredible fundraising.
I do have a question. Does this include, is this just the varsity team that's going?
Let's see, I picked it up.
The high school basketball, I would think it would be the high school.
I believe it is, but I'm going to check.
High school
and see.
boys basketball for a tournament.
I assume it's varsity. I was just curious.
I think it's
yeah.
only varsity.
Okay.
Let's see. Well, it says that Coach Neely is going to be holding a meeting with the parents of the senior basketball players and their sons to go over the itinerary, the travel package, and fundraising. And that's next, that's this week. So it sounds like it is,
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
But I can't say for sure, but I'm assuming it is.
Thank you for...
Yeah. So
All in favor?
Great. Thank you very
500.
much. I will communicate the chaperone ratio. Thank you very much. I know Coach Neely will be very, very happy that we're able to be timely for him to do that.
What is the number of the student-teacher ratio? Is there a ratio? Is there a number?
It's a policy you have for overnight travel,
Yeah.
and usually we discuss it because Jeff comes once a
Right,
year with all the
yeah.
proposed overnight travel, but that was a few months ago. So
Okay.
this is a little bit later, so I don't have it in front
Okay,
of me. But
okay,
we
sure,
do
sorry,
have a
yeah.
ratio for what we
So
want the
in our
chaperone
policy.
students to be.
6 to 1.
6 to 1.
That's what we always,
Okay.
we always just make sure that...
I knew you'd know it, Kate.
Yes, I ask it every time. There's consistency.
She may even be chaperoning.
May I say that's because I'm mother of boys, so I understand the 6-1 ratio.
Right.
And we always maintain it here at the school.
That's really helpful. The second thing is the Diana Beatty Memorial Fund has had 2 additional donations. So we're asking that the committee accept an additional $50 in donation to the Diana Beatty Memorial Fund. And if you accept the donation of that $50, the grand total is now $5,594.
I would be pleased to make
Which is
that motion.
Second it.
All in favor? 500.
Thank you.
I am happy to announce that the IGO principal search is moving right along. We have 2 finalist candidates who I told them that their names wouldn't be announced until tonight, and I meant to bring what you usually ask for, which is the cover letter and the resume, and I don't have it with me, but we'll be getting that to you tomorrow morning. So we have 2 finalist candidates. Both are sitting principals in other districts. So the 2 finalist candidates are Mike Stanton, who is currently a principal in Walpole Public Schools, an elementary principal, and Yu Q. She is a principal in the Randolph Public Schools. So our plans are to have the 2 candidates, as we did for the high school search. They're coming to visit the IGO this week on Wednesday and Thursday. So we have a visiting schedule that's a half-day long. Parents we'll be sending. Parents got an email today without the names in it, just saying this is the schedule. So we invite parents, the community, school committee members. If you want to come Wednesday and Thursday from 2:15 to 2:50 will be the parents and community segment. You're welcome to meet the 2 candidates, and I will send you that email tomorrow, CC you. And the faculty and staff will be having a meet and greet with the 2 candidates each from 3:10 to close to 4 o'clock on those 2 days. So we had a great pool, as you know, and I want to commend Dr. Berdos and her screening team. They had complete control over screening the 54 applicants, choosing who they would interview. I think all but one of the selections were currently elementary principals in other districts, which shows you the strength of the candidates they had, and they forwarded these 2 people to us. I had a chance to meet them last week along with the other central office people. Very pleased with the 2 candidates they sent forward, so we're going to move forward, and I hope to have an announcement for you next week, and certainly by our June 4th meeting.
Exciting.
Debbie, would you just spell the second candidate's name for us?
The first name and the last name. Yeueque.
And you said she's Randolph?
Yes. Boy, good thing I have a visual memory. Q and Mike Stanton. So, very happy about that. They asked for today to let their school district know, so I said it wouldn't be announced till the school committee meeting, so we will announce it at the school level tomorrow.
Sure.
And I'd like to thank Pam McCauley for being here. Wendy Wills is recuperating quite nicely. If you're watching at home, which Wendy, I hope you're not, but if you are, hi, we miss you, but Pam has really stepped in for our school committee, as you can see, so thank you for being here and taking our minutes.
And all the other things you're doing while in your office.
And my most important other matters, Eddie Shine, is this your last school committee meeting, or are we going to see you one more time?
That was my last meeting.
Oh,
Goodness.
So, Eddie, you may be hearing from us as a thank you for, outside of this meeting, but we want to make sure that publicly, I know for the years I've been here, it's really been a pleasure to get to know you, not just through this venue, but in everything you do around the school, and can't wait to see you at graduation. And if you want to tell us a little bit about your plans, if somebody wants to throw him a little microphone. So what are you doing next year, Eddie?
I'll be attending American University in Washington, D.C. as a political science major.
That is impressive. I'm so happy for Eddie. You are just the complete package. You're well-rounded. You're just everything you would want a high school student to be. You're a good student. You do well academically. You have friends. You're in music. It's just there's just no end to how I can describe you. Just very impressive, and I'm privileged to have known you.
Now, you shared with me something I'd like you to share with the rest of the school committee members about your essay.
My essay on the Common Application was, it featured my experiences on the school committee and my experiences with Jay Barrows, which I actually got that internship through Miss Lord. So it featured how those 2 experiences have
prepared him for DC.
Yeah, prepared me. So I'm going to email Miss Lord a copy of that, and if you could maybe forward that to the rest of the members.
Yes, I'm sure we would enjoy reading it. Thank you very much, Eddie. And I am in the middle of renovations. My kitchen is down to the cement walls right now. Otherwise, I was going to present you with a great big giant cupcake tonight. But seeing as that
I think we can do a little better than that.
Yes, but seeing as it's on school premises, probably I should wait and bring it to your house when you're officially graduated, so I'm not breaking any rules.
We haven't passed it yet, so.
Oh, it's right.
Well, I mean, I'm moving from discouraged to not at all. So, you're going to strike while iron's hot.
We haven't had the second reading of that discouraged. I'm still in discouraged land.
I'm sure you don't want her to use her Easy Bake Oven.
Well, I just
Now,
want to say,
Eddie, there is one other thing. We say this each time, and Megan, I know you'll be taking notes. Tonight may be your last meeting, but you can't leave until you have your replacement ready to fill in. So they did tell you that's the tradition. So you're going to be out there doing some networking and
Talking
some
us up.
recruiting.
yeah, I mean, I've got 3 days, so I'll do my best.
That's right.
Nail somebody, target someone. No, thank
No
you.
pressure.
You have made it delightful, and it's been wonderful to see you. It's been, what, 4 years?
Yeah.
You started as a freshman, and to see you, that's quite a commitment.
Soldier
Thank you.
on with us for 4 years.
So take note, Megan. See what happens when you go the distance all 4 years?
Well, thank you all very much for your continued guidance and support throughout these 4 years. I mean, like, attending these meetings and getting to know all of you, it's truly been like a highlight of my high school career, and I mean, I'm sure it helped me get into college. You know,
We hope
but
we did.
You did the work.
All
We
these
did
nights
not
of
do the work.
sacrifice, it would have to be worth something.
But like, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate you
Come
being
back and
here.
visit us.
I will.
Good. And if you can't get a replacement, that means you have to pressure Megan too.
Oh, yeah, sure I will.
Best of luck, and I'll see you soon. But Thursday's your last day?
Yeah.
Yours?
Wow.
Yeah, look at the grin on his face.
He's not counting the hours or anything, are you?
No, not already.
4 years went that fast. Wow. Thank you.
You know, just to brag on Eddie, maybe, and segue to another matter, the Pops concert and the Jazz Fest were outstanding.
Friday night.
Especially that trumpet section.
I know.
That drummer was pretty fun.
Yeah.
The
Nick
drummers
Adair.
seem to do well pretty well.
All the kids, middle school, high school, another great.
It's incredible.
And then, speaking of the arts, I don't know if we've had a meeting since the middle school's production of Annie Jr.
No.
That was superb
And well received.
and well received, and a large cast of multiple grade kids doing a heck of a job with great music, so we're very fortunate.
It is great that the arts education is still alive and well here. And I wasn't able to go to the Jazz Fest because we had another out-of-state wedding this weekend. But the Pops concert I went to on Mother's Day, and you can't. It's indescribable. Everyone should go.
And
It's a pleasure.
I greatly appreciate how Mr. Massey recognizes every single senior in all the different sections. That's wonderful.
I particularly like the dance party. And if it weren't going to film on cable access, I might have, But no. It was really, really great.
I'd like to mention one thing that's kind of like a teaching highlight, too. One of our former FHS graduates had majored in music in college, and he's now the music director at Bethany Church, but he was commissioned by the Music Association to compose a special piece for the junior jazz band.
For the middle school, yes.
For the middle school. It was premiered that night. He even included some Spanish in it, and they were all saying, "Tengo una caja en mis manos." I am holding a box in my hand, and he went on to have talented hands and blessed hands and also exhausted hands by the end. So,
He's also been working with the middle school students after school on Tuesdays for quite a number of months.
So this is a graduate of ours who's going to come home again, so we're very lucky to have him in the area. And he received a standing ovation for his composition.
Bev, I had one other one if I could.
Certainly.
Is it the class of '86 that did the high school sign?
Yes.
I wanted to just thank the class of '86 for the sign out front of the high school, which was just a beautiful sign. And my excitement and enthusiasm is only matched by my disappointment at the vandals that did some damage to it. And I don't know if we know who they are or not, but what a shame. What a shame. And I understand.
It doesn't speak well for the community.
No.
I would think somebody that, I would like to think somebody outside of the community did it, but I'm very disappointed when I pulled up tonight and once again saw it still wasn't there. They worked very hard to raise that money. They believe in this town, they love this town, they all graduated from here, and that's a huge, huge disappointment to think somebody vandalized it so quickly.
Right, but they had it removed immediately.
It doesn't matter.
I know.
That's disgusting.
Did I hear right that they are able to fix it? Does anyone know the? Yeah, Bill?
Yeah, it's back at the sign shop, and they're going to just
Redo it.
repaint it, and it'll be fine.
Good. Good. That's great to hear.
I know it had been raining all that week, and I was waiting for a sunny day to take a picture to email it to Afghanistan. The sun didn't come out in time.
Well, I remember when they came here to tell us about their plan, and such a great thing that they took on their own, and they raised money, and yeah, it is very disappointing. It really is.
But our thanks to them for
absolutely.
beautiful sign.
It is.
It'll be back.
Yep.
Luckily, they took the picture from the other side, so I was happy to see that there was a picture in the reporter, because they have worked hard and raised a lot of money, so thank you.
Any others?
Yeah. Oh.
No, actually, the things that I wanted to bring up, actually, you even brought up.
I just wanted to check my understanding for all of us, the timeline for Debbie's evaluation. And I know that we have changed the form and we're aligning that, so if you could perhaps reiterate, because we may need a little more time, given that with the new open meeting law, there are certain things that we're going to need to, and I believe we are in agreement, but changing our process. For instance, our notes or our original draft is now going to be public, a matter of record. So it would just be helpful to have that timeline work for all of us.
Yes, and it is going to be a little bit of a wieldy process. I'm finding, on the school district goals, I believe you have a time frame for it, so I'm looking that up first.
Well, we can, at our next meeting, I'm just asking really for myself to have that extra time.
Oh, no, I know, in fact.
Debbie could put on the next.
Yeah, so let me just float some ideas out there and get some feedback from the committee, and then I'll know what my plan is. It says, in our school district goals, it says evaluate the superintendent's performance and complete the school committee overall composite evaluation by July 30th, 2012, and conduct public evaluation by September 19th, 2012. So those are the time frames that you suggested. So what has to happen before that is at the next school committee meeting, we're going to be giving you an overview of the whole educator evaluation system again. You know how we had a little overview? Just so it's fresh in everyone's minds. That will include the process for me with the exact forms you'll be using for me, so the whole entire packet for me. It is my responsibility to provide you with documentation on those standards. So I don't think it'll be ready for June 4th, but by the second meeting in June, you'll have a chance to see the documents you'll be working with on June 4th. By the second meeting in June, I will submit the rubric to you with the evidence of some of the standards that we're not going to do all 32 indicators, but you're going to be working with we call them the elements, not the 32 elements, but you will be working with the 20 indicators and the 4 broad standards. So I'll be providing you with documentation on that for me, and then you take that under advisement and then make your evaluations and to the chair. So the only question is when you want to have the public evaluation. Here it says by September. If you want to stick with that, that's totally up to you as a committee. But your composite evaluations, it says composite evaluation by July 30th, which would probably be our retreat, I would imagine. So since it is so big and so new, that might be a good topic for the retreat. And then the public hearing by September 19th, but I would probably suggest the August meeting. We usually meet at the end of August before we come back to school, kind of put a little bookend at the end of the year. And
what a great way to kick off then the new year, when you do that with professional development and then at the beginning of September.
What we've done in the past, too, whoever was the sitting chair during that year is the one that would put the composite together, so that would be you, Bruce.
Okay, I'd be happy to do that.
But now, our actual, when we sit down and discuss that with Debbie, that our evaluation, our individual evaluation, will become part of the public record.
Right.
correct?
Yes.
And any tool that you use will be
Right.
part
Yes,
of
the individual record or the notes that you would submit to Bruce would be part of the public record. So because this is all new, it would probably be helpful to me after you get the materials on June 4th and then again after you get the documentation, that it's so new to all of us that if you have individual questions, I can meet with you individually to answer those questions. The public evaluation is as a committee. So I would.
Thank you.
It would be helpful to me
time, so.
as we all start this new process. And I have mentioned to the teachers and administrators that I am going first. I think they appreciate that. Nobody wants to go first, but I'm going to go first. And I think it'll be a good learning process for all of us, and it will be helpful for me to be able to communicate with them which standards were a little bit harder to address with the transition to the new system. So I'll be able to be informative.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was all I had.
Yeah, that was really good.
Okay.
That helped me,
Is that it?
actually.
All right, I'm going to in a moment entertain a motion to go into an executive session for the purpose of discussing negotiating strategies with union personnel, specifically custodians and secretaries, as well as bargaining language related to the new mass educator evaluation system. As an open meeting may be have a detrimental effect on the bargaining position of the school committee. The committee will not return to open session tonight, and I need a motion, a second, and then a roll call vote.
Make that motion?
Kate?
Aye.
Aye.
Katie? Aye.
Aye.
And the chair says aye. Okay, meeting adjourned.